Hey, Nick. What's up? Oh, we have
Can
a
you
follow
guys
right away.
can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me all right? This is a completely new setup for me, and we are late because I completely bogged it to begin with. So yeah, it's all my fault.
Oh, we're actually
Does
good on
it?
time. I mean,
Yeah, does it
yeah,
work now?
yeah.
Are you allowed
We're.
to drink coffee on stream? I hope
Oh,
so.
that's a good idea. I wanted to bring a coffee along with me, but I forgot. So.
Yeah, don't try this at home, kids. I'm the first person to tell everyone to not take any food or drinks with them into this expensive equipment room. So,
Oh right. Oh yeah. I know what you mean.
oh my god.
Uh,
Yeah. So hey, how are you guys? How are you?
Audio and video are stellar. That's really nice to hear, loud and clear. Awesome. I hope you guys are doing fine.
Perfect.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really good to
first
hear.
time. First time I can actually speak into the Shure
Yeah.
microphone. I always wanted to do that, you know. And today, it's all about me, and I hate that. So it's I really like honestly, I hate if it's all about me because I'm the showrunner, right? I'm the brand manager for CRYENGINE. For everybody who's new and doesn't know me very well yet, the regulars should. You should. So hey, I'm Nick or Gabriel. I'm the brand manager for CRYENGINE. I run this show usually. I'm Roman's boss,
Yeah.
the boss of the community team, which means I write the show, I write the schedule. So today I had to write myself in, and that's not something I like to do usually. But yeah, it just so happens that today, as Roman said, it's Transgender Day of Awareness. And that happens to be relevant because I have that's my area of expertise in a way, because I'm a trans man. I work in the games industry for 10 years now, and I thought, why not talk a little about that? Why Roman is doing a nice relaxing artwork in the background, and we all can relax, chat, and chill.
Yep. That's a good point. I'm looking for the English word for the word Stichpunkt. What would you use for
A
that?
bullet point,
A bullet point. But
Oma. Bullet
um,
point.
regards the bullet point, I'm gonna switch to the current screen, and then we can keep talking. There we go. Now you still should be able to see us both and the artwork, or at least this dark thing that we need to adjust a little bit. Yeah, so today we are going to create this little cyberpunkish scene with a robot, with especially a gender neutral robot that we're going to place here and have him in this little cyberpunkish world. It took me a little bit to create this background here with the also appropriate flag with the all the neon signs and so on. And there's one thing that I kind of wanted to mention, which kind of, disappointed me a little bit from the industry. I was not able to find any transgender characters that I could use for an artwork. That was
I mean,
kind of disappointing a little bit.
yeah, I mean, like, so when we wrote we wrote the show, well, when I had the idea to do this, because I mean, Transgender Day of Awareness is important to me, and it's every year since 2009 or what. So it shouldn't creep up on me really, but it does. I mean, life is busy. So yeah, it crept up on me, and everything happens at once, as you guys might have seen. We might have a teeny tiny big day next week, Tuesday. Something big coming that we waited for 3 years, which is the CRYENGINE 5.7 long-term support
What
release.
spoilers?
You don't read our blog, Roma, do you?
Okay.
Because we said that yesterday. Anyways, so you're so well informed. Like he was busy preparing for this stream. Like I have to, so busy he couldn't even read. Anyways, so yeah, so a lot of stuff is happening because when stuff happens, when it rains it pours, and even if it's good stuff that's happening, everything's usually happening at once. So yeah, that's why it crept up on me, and I was like, okay, I want to do something for Transgender Day of Awareness. because I remember a time when I, as a transgender person, was looking for days to represent me, and of course there's Pride Month, and the gender spectrum kind of falls within that as well. There was only Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is I think November 1st or November 31st. I would have to look it up, sorry. But anyway, Transgender Day of Remembrance is when we actually look at all the lives that have been taken by transphobic practices in the world. People have been killed over the fact that they are born this way, that they are transgender. People who killed themselves because they experienced so much rejection or mobbing. And that is a very sad day. And I'm actually glad that somebody came up with the idea to actually have a positive day where we talk about awareness, about the positivity in the life of a transgender person, a genderqueer person. And what does that actually even mean? So, come back to what Roman just said. Today, nowadays, because I started my journey some 20 years ago, honestly, I have to say I'm actually quite amazed with the fact how many positive transgender characters we have. The representation has become much better. But when I last week suddenly thought about doing this stream with Roman, and I thought about doing a fan art of maybe a transgender character from a different game or a show, we had to see that it's a bit difficult to find available models. To be fair, I don't have a 3D artist on my team, which means when we do these fan art streams, we usually take, source open free license models, or we ask people who have created the models if we're allowed to use them in stream when we advertise for them, yada yada. So these are clearly fan art streams. We don't claim any of these models for ourselves. But yeah, as the more popular an IP is, the easier it gets to find, free open shared models that you can use.
Yeah.
And for transgender characters, like I know a few cool transgender characters from games or media, but it was difficult to find open source or open license models of them, or of transgender characters, or characters that were labeled as transgender, because it's not always about an IP. It's about personal IPs, maybe things that people have done. So that's why we kind of we stuck with the robot that we found there, because we felt like the robot is first of all a robot. So nobody knows if the robot has a gender or not. The gender is what the robot identifies as. But from the general physique, the figure, it looks nice and gender fluid. Wider hips, like no real face, just the robot face. Cute jacket, like no, flat chest. So it has little bit of each. So we decided to go with the robot, because as you know, gender is a spectrum. And we felt that this sits nicely, because if you have a model that is clearly identifiable, to have the representation of one or the other gender, then you still don't know, is it actually transgender? Because that's within the person, and you can't tell by looking at someone if they are transgender or not. And that's why we wanted a fan art character, where it's clearly, hey, this character is already existing in an IP, and it is transgender, is labeled as transgender. And we didn't find that. We tried for a couple of days and we couldn't find anything. We wrote to a couple of artists to ask for the permission to use their models maybe in the stream. But I think it was a bit too short notice. That's completely on us. So next year we'll do better. And if you want to provide a model, or if you have an idea what we could do, just let us know.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah. Cool. I don't have eyes on the chat right now. I have to change that.
I have a comment. The thing that sometimes it's hard to understand about transgender character is that they don't look or act any different than other people. You can tell by looking at it someone. Oh yeah, you just said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get eyes on the chat, but my phone is like, oh, I have no internet connection, so get the chat.
Yeah, in the specific room that you're currently in, it's hard to get some internet connection by. So yeah, we have this robot here. I'm gonna scale him up a little bit. I mean, it's it's fine. We don't need to be realistic here. We just need to get some awesome scenes and some awesome.
I think you just made a typical German mistake, Roman.
I did. Which
because
one?
I mean, you said let's scale him up, but the robot is gender fluid. We just said that, so him. It's not a he.
Oh.
I mean, we can't ask the robot for their pronouns. So what we should do is we should revert to the singular they, which is easy in English, but it's hard for German people. We're both German, Roman and I, so it's very hard for us to adapt to the singular they, because in German there's no such thing. It's ridiculous because our singular pronouns are the same as the female singular. So our plural pronouns are the same as the female singular. So if you try to do that, you end up with something that could be a female pronoun again. It's ridiculous. There are some neo-pronouns in German, which are fine. I'm trying to adapt to use neo-pronouns, but it's hard because there's no universal thing that's already embedded in the grammar, so it's sometimes hard to adapt. But yeah, in English it's totally fine. It's easy. So Roman, you can do it. Okay. Singular they.
They.
Today.
Just they. Yeah.
Yeah, just they.
I believe there must. There are. That's the one thing. There are a ton of transgender anime characters, like from a lot of games, from a lot of anime movies. Yeah. No question about that. But it's also hard to find the right models for it. I mean, there are some transgender characters in the Grand Blue 5, I think, series. But it's hard to get, the models to create a fan artwork out of that. So yeah, there are definitely a lot of models that I, could use if they were available, but they are not.
I think the issues with the thing is anime. So I'm a weeb. Okay, I love
anime. Same.
And when I watch animes, I call it the anime mode. I put on the anime mode because Japan has a very different mindset in terms of people who stick out of the ordinary, right? So I just, from my understanding, Japan, they think that everything that is in anime is fiction and fiction isn't reality. That's why they sometimes have some, also this problematic stuff, like some gothic Lolita stuff where you have like over-sexualized children's characters who are 1,000,000 years old vampires or something. You have some problematic things that for Western audience might be very problematic. And, we put on the anime mode because we're like, okay, it's a different culture. We know it's not meant like this. In some cases, we just have to put on the glasses and be like, okay, look, different culture, I take it. And the thing is with like transgender characters, I have to say it's the same. In Japanese media, a lot of the time I see overtly sexualized or gender queer representing characters that are often played for laughs. Also, like homosexual characters are often played for laughs. If you have like the boys love genre, in anime, it's different because the boys' love genre in manga and anime is particularly geared towards women. And so it's actually not gay representation, or it wasn't, like in the beginning. In the beginning, why it was accepted socially, while being gay sometimes is not in Japanese culture, as far as I know. Because it was a genre particularly geared towards a young female clientele that has a way to, look into love and sexuality, but around a corner. Because young girls would pick this up and they would not see themselves represented there. They would see two men engaged in, a problematic relationship and stereotypes. But it's kind of a genre that evolved from that, right? It was never geared towards gay men. It was always geared towards a female audience. And that's the reason why gay characters are sometimes, or transsexual characters, transgender characters are often played for laughs in anime. And I think that's a bit sad, but like I said, a bit different culture. But for example, there was a very good representation of a transgender character in Zombieland Saga.
Right.
Because there's like the tiny blue-haired girl, I forgot what she's called. But basically it's an anime about a band, an idol band that is actually kind of, looking at the idol genre and why that is also toxic and everything, but it's a good show. And so the blue-haired girl idol, the kid idol, so to speak, spoiler alert, if you don't want spoilers for Zombieland Saga, you have time to mute me. I'm gonna reveal a plot point about this character now. So the blue-haired girl character, it is later revealed they are all zombies, so they all died at some point. And for some of the characters later on, it is revealed when they died and why they died. And the blue-haired character, she literally died of a broken heart because she was a child movie star, and she was born assigned male at birth, but she always played female roles. And her dad was supporting her in this, right? So she was a child star, a child movie star, playing female roles, but was assigned male at birth. And she's about 12 when she dies, and she dies of a broken heart because it is shown that she enters puberty. So, you know, her very gender fluid body and the way that she can perfectly represent her true self can be female representing, that starts to change. And she, like, her dad tries to explain to her that this is just how it goes, and that now maybe it's time that she, accepts reality and all these things. And that hurts her so much that she literally dies of a broken heart, because she says she wants to stay this way, exactly this way, because this is who she is. And that's very sad, but a very respectfully told story of a transgender character that I have never seen in anime before, I have to say. I think there are a couple of examples for it. But yeah, that was very touching. It was dramatic, obviously. But yeah, it was a very good and respectful representation where the matter of fact that somebody is transgender wasn't played for laughs and giggles.
I think also one of the first representations in that area where I came like kind of in touch as a kid with that was indeed Ranma, right? If you remember.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my god, I love Ranma.
Ranma was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was still like, it's a slapstick comedy, right? So the gender swap is still played for laughs, right? So it's always, to me, it was always like Ranma isn't really, a girl or whatnot. So it's like, it was always a bit played for laughs. And there are people who turn into animals and all different kind of things. So it's like, oh. But hey, like I said, back in the day, representation of transgender characters was rare. And I loved it. As a kid, I was just, oh, I want that. I want to be able to just change my gender on a whim, or when I get wet or whatever. I don't know. It was, and that is also one of the early signs where I kind of learned that this was a fantasy that was so enthralling to me, that I learned, okay, maybe something is not right, And that was definitely one of my early, how do you say, epiphanies, transgender epiphanies, I would say. But I mean, we weren't technically here to talk about anime, right? We were here to talk a bit about the games industry. So just stop me anytime, guys.
Yeah, but people are really also hooked right now on the anime topic, because you also have the Japanese visual K-rock bands like Amelie's Miser, who did some gender bending without doing it for the laughs.
True, actually, yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And Gagged, oh my god. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like 16 at the time, and to see so Gagged was also after Malice Miser, like how he represented, like almost female representing, like so gender neutral, so gender fluid. When I saw the video for Vanilla, which was a million years ago, I'm old, but when I saw the video for Vanilla song, that just blew my mind, and I didn't know what was wrong with me, so to say, because I saw a person who I considered to be male, but was so beautiful in this almost gender neutral representing state. It felt so admirable at the time. It felt like it was reachable for me. And I didn't quite understand at the time why I was so in love with this character. And I was like, okay, I'm not really a fan in a way that I'm like, oh, I want to put up posters of this person. I'm like, I want to be this person. Can I be this person? Just want to be the person. Not because of the fame or anything, but just because they are so beautiful. And they seem to be easily represent as any gender they like. And I wish it was that easy for me. So that was definitely oh yeah, that was a big one.
Hmm.
Big revelation for me. Still trying to get on chat. Working on it.
Oh, there's a question. I really want this level. Where did you get all the cyberpunk assets?
Advertise it. Advertise the hell out of it. We didn't make this.
I'm
This is
sorry.
fan art. Yeah.
I'm going to show it to you just in a second. So the buildings I got from here. Sorry, my PC's right now really slow because Okay, I have to admit something. I worked on this level in the newer engine version because it's easier and better to work on, and I had to go back to 5.6, the released version. So there are a lot of issues right now going on, but I'm so glad it's not crashing. That's why my PC is quite slow. So in the newer version, I had no issues. But here, I just, if you look at the console, it's just raining issues. So yeah, at some point I have to restart the editor, but not for now.
Well, aren't we well prepared? As if we were professionals.
Yeah. So I just bought this asset here. I looked it up. It was kind of cool. I liked how it looks. I really liked the style of it, and I just bought it. I mean, it's $15. It's right now. So yeah, if you want that, guys, you can simply get it. I'm gonna send you the link. It's just $15 you can buy it. So the robot I got from Sketchfab. Damn it, I lost the link. I will look it up. Just a second. So it's
Oh, we have music. Yes.
Oh, we have a little bit of music, yeah. Oh, there it is. This is the place where I got this model from. If you want it, you can have it as well. And on CG Trader, I just looked up for neon signs. There was a problem because the skeleton of this model was a bit complicated. CRYENGINE had a few issues with that, so I asked Alexander Raab in our company to help me with that, and he provided a clean model that I could use with a really nice looking pose. I think this looks really awesome. And thank you, Alexander Raab, for this. He helped me a little bit with this project here.
Nice.
This is where I got the models from. I really recommend you guys using it because they are low poly, they are easy to set up, especially with CRYENGINE. Just drop it in, drop in the FBX. The textures will be generated automatically, but not all of them. You would still need the massive textures to get that little, kind of window look in a distance. So it's pretty easy, but you have to do a little bit of work. This is where I got the models from, and I just set it up, did some lighting. I forgot to add some clouds. Volumetric clouds. There we go. We have some clouds around here.
So yeah, guys, I mean, you can also ask me questions.
Yeah, if you have questions, please, guys, ask right away. Also, thank you for the Transgender Awareness Day stream. This is an amazing thing you're doing today. It's Nick's idea. He did everything, so yeah, I also really like it, and it was quite a challenge to create something cool like this. Thank you for this, Nick.
Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah. Also really glad to see so many people here, and also a really nice chat, really with some valuable opinions. Really dig that.
I see the chat now. So, Waluigi says, I think the main character of Final Fantasy VIII was somehow based on Gagged. What was his name again?
Final Fantasy VIII, Leon, I think. Was it Leon?
No, that's Resident Evil.
No. There was the guy with the sword and the revolver, right? That was
Gunblade.
Gunblade.
Gunblade something. Yeah, I don't know. I have to Google this.
I think it was
Squall.
Squall.
Yeah, not Squall. Squall was it? Exactly. Yeah. Possibly. I know that Gect made a song for Dirge of Cerberus, which was the very unsuccessful third-person shooter game out of the Final Fantasy VII rage.
What?
Dirge of Cerberus. Yeah, that's. Let me look it up. Dirge of Cerberus is like I have that game. It was actually an interesting game, but the gameplay was impossible for me. Anyway, Gect made the soundtrack for the game, I think, and yeah, I have the soundtrack. And let me see. So, Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII. What does it say? It's a 2006, because I'm old, action role-playing third-person shooter video game developed these 7 Meta series, a multimedia collection set within the universe of the popular 1997 video game Final Fantasy VII. The game is set 3 years after the events of the original game and focuses on one of the game's playable characters, Vincent Valentine, in the story. And who doesn't love Vincent? People who don't pick up Vincent in Final Fantasy VII can go home. Like, honestly. Why wouldn't you?
I'm gonna be honest here for a second. I think Final Fantasy VIII is a little bit better than 7.
I never played Final Fantasy VIII, so I cannot argue with that.
Oh.
And I won't. It's a matter of taste, I guess. I love Final Fantasy VII because for me that was literally the first JRPG that I played. I was like 16 at the time or something.
Oh, it was the first one, okay.
Yeah, it was my first JRPG. I have to say, like, guys, it's never too late for anything, but my parents, they used to think that video games aren't educational. So I was not allowed to play games as a kid, except with three exceptions. So my dad would sit down and play 3 games with me. And that was the Monkey Island games.
Really?
Yeah, Monkey Island 1 and 2. Those were 2 games that he played with me.
Okay, yeah.
And Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. And Day of the Tentacle.
So everything LucasArts related, right?
Yeah, and they were in English, so that was nice because he like when I was like 10 years old or something, I mean, he would sit down with me and play these games with me, and he would teach me English with these games, so that was nice. He kind of deemed Day of the Tentacle educational, and I will never forget what a kumquat is, or, you know, Benjamin Franklin and electricity and stuff, so it was educational.
Yeah,
but also plastic vomit ceilings and nice. Anyways, yeah. So my first JRPG was definitely Final Fantasy VII because when I was 16, my friends banded together and gifted me a Sony PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay.
And that was my first console and the first time I bought my own games, the way to play my own games. So Der Tag des Tentakels. Yeah.
Oh, I love this game. Like, this was actually my first game that I played. So LucasArts game. Yep, and I still love it. Monkey Island came a little bit later, but Day of the Tentacle was amazing. It was so funny. Okay, I don't know what's going on here with my PC currently because it's going crazy for a second here. I don't know why, but I think this should work now. I have also this purple clouds in the distance. It was a mess to set it up together with a volumetric fog, but I kind of nailed it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Do you have? Southman has the Day of the Tentacle emoji.
Nice.
Emote. I think to say emoji, it's a bit outdated, right? No one says emoji anymore.
How would I know? I'm not on TikTok.
You're not?
No.
But you just created one. I saw it on Twitter. Don't hide it from me.
I accidentally TikToked, yeah.
You accidentally TikToked, yeah.
I caught a video of my kitten playing, and I was listening to loud anime music in the background, so I accidentally TikToked because it was perfect.
Yeah, I saw that. Probably the first transgender character was Birdo.
I heard about that, yes. I couldn't verify it, though. Because to be fair, I mean, Birdo is also part of the Sesame Street, right? I mean, we had Sesame Street here in Germany, but we had different characters. I didn't know that until I was like 18 or something. Until I was 18, I thought Sesame Street was German. Sesamstraße.
Sesamstraße.
And then somebody was like, no, it's not. You know, it's actually American. It's just the different countries had different moderators and characters. And I'm like, what? And that was the day I learned that Graf Zahl is called Count in English. And that's funny. And that joke is just lost in German. So, yeah. Anyways.
No, I think Birdo is also the character from Mario.
Oh, can you show me? Like I said, I have a huge comprehensive gap in my brain when it comes to older video games. Fun enough, I mean older. I'm very old, so. But yeah, Mario games and stuff. I never had a Nintendo Super NES. I never had an NES because my parents just didn't want me to have one. Is there like? Let me Google this. Birdo from Mario.
It's on the screen.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, this character. I've seen this character, but I've never played any games. So that's a transgender. That's a transgender woman, I guess. So female pronouns for Birdo.
The funny thing, there were 3D models from Birdo, but it's Nintendo.
Yeah, true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't have done a fan art stream with anything Nintendo because Nintendo.
Yeah. I love Nintendo, but there are.
We do love Nintendo. We leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simon says, not a video game, but I was an adult when I realized that the old 1964 movie Father Goose with Cary Grant has a transgender character, Harry, whose pronouns and identity are fully respected throughout the film. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah. I don't know the movie, so I have no clue, but that's great, actually.
And in the year 64, right?
Yeah, wow. Valuigi says, you can check in the manual for Super Mario Brothers. It says he thinks he's a girl.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's not respectful, but it is a transgender character then. It's not a respectful way to say that. But I guess, I mean, from when is Super Mario Brothers when was that?
Oh,
the
gosh.
80s? 90s? Super Mario Brothers 2. All right, Super Mario Brothers 2. Don't know the year, but yeah, maybe a different time.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember playing, Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo, but I don't remember what year it was. I think 96?
You're just wildly guessing, right?
Yeah, I'm wildly guessing. I know that my mother thought to buy me a Nintendo at the age of 1.5 was a good idea. So yeah.
Roman, what can we do here? Can we make a flag? Does cloth simulation work? I don't know. Can we make a transgender flag? Can we do that? For the robot to wave?
Let me think.
I remember. Yeah.
Do we have? I need to get on the ground. I am on the ground. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Let's see. So we definitely have cloth simulation, but it's an empty project. Yeah.
True. Okay.
It's an empty project. I would need a specific setup. Unfortunately, I would need GameSDK or pre-created that. But let me think. I mean, we have this neon sign here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could I make it dynamic?
Wobbly.
Could I make it fluid?
Yeah, wobbly.
Could I make it wobble?
Just attack it. Let's make it wobble, so it looks like black.
Well,
I just talked to Victor earlier and talked to him about particle effects and stuff again, and Victor was like, just do it.
well,
It doesn't matter how you do it, because while you're doing it, you will have 10 different ideas how to do it better, but it doesn't matter, just do it.
I mean, it's just UV. I wouldn't be able to. Let me see if we can do some vertex deformation. If we can add some synwave. But we have no vertices. It's No. Hey, would you look at that?
Aha.
Okay. We got some movement, but the vertices are really out of place.
Don't try this at home, kids. We're just
Yeah.
making it up as we go.
Yeah. Wait. Why I have so many items? I don't want any items. I just want this one thing to move. And why is this thing going horizontally and the other horizontally? Is that an English word? Vertically
Horizontally.
and horizontally. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's
okay.
how game dev goes.
I don't know what's going on here, but it's going on.
What did you have planned for this scene, anyways?
Actually, I wanted to create like lights to add lights, but I was done pretty fast. I didn't expect to take me like, it's pretty
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty lit. I thought I would need like 40 minutes for it, but I was done like in just a few seconds. But nonetheless, we have this waving thing going on, and we will do it for every effing material here, so this thing will wave. We can have a bulge. Oh yeah, no. Squeezing. I'm also discovering these features. I had no clue we can. No, I knew I did it like for a meat kind of thing, for still moving meat.
I don't know if I want to know, Roma.
Yeah, you don't want to know who it was. Yeah. You don't want to know. This was not
So
okay.
Alex helped you with the robot. So does the robot? Do they have animations now? Are they rigged?
No.
Can you?
No. We had to get rid of the rig because it was not usable. It was created not for a game engine, but we still managed to get it into the engine. So I was just happy with that. But don't worry, guys. We will make this flag wobble.
All right. While we wobble the flag.
Oh yeah, we wobble the flag.
Yeah. While we wobble the flag.
You lost your point there, right?
Yeah, I wanted to ask if anybody has more questions for me, because little old me is here today.
Yeah.
Like, welcome everybody who joined, who wasn't here in the beginning. We decided to throw a little thing together for a Transgender Day of Awareness. And that's why I'm here. Although I hate the spotlight, because I have relevant experience there. So I'm a transgender man in the games industry. I've been in the games industry for 10 years now. And I'm 38. I'm almost 40. So I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot. So yeah, Transgender Day of Awareness is a day where we talk about, positive experiences mostly. We also raise awareness for the fact of, that transgender people exist, what our lives are like. And I personally think so. Obviously, gender is a spectrum. So for me, that doesn't just include, female or male transgender people, but also non-binary people, like the full spectrum. I prefer he, him pronouns, so I'm a trans man. And actually, yeah, So in the industry, I have to say the industry, so the gaming industry is pretty fast forward many ways, right? I mean, we're a creative industry. Many young people work here. Tech affinity, usually our target group is also younger people. I mean, by now you can't really say that because everybody plays. But when the industry kind of took foot and became the multi-billion industry it is now, it was always about progress, about being progressive and diverse. And I'm glad that is true. So honestly, I don't know how it is to work in other industries. I have some transgender friends, trans women and trans men who work in other industries, and some of them, have good stories to tell. Some of them have bad stories to tell. So I don't even know if it's a matter of the industry, really. But I have to say my personal experiences in the games industry are pretty positive. We talked about, my coming out in the games industry at Crytek was very positive. Like, nobody ever gave me any hardship. Everybody was super supportive. A couple of people needed some time to adjust, to the pronouns and stuff, or had questions. But I was always very open-minded about it. I still am. As long as I feel like questions are coming out of a place of honest curiosity, I have absolutely no problem answering questions. Or, if you ask a question that I might not feel comfortable with, I will probably tell you. I also don't think that I'm the center of the universe. So, of course, other transgender people have made different experience and might feel different about this. But I feel like, hey, I'm easygoing. I don't mind questions. Not every transgender person is your, heap of answers or questions. Not everybody wants to be an educator, but I don't have a problem with it. So that's why I'm here. So ask away. While we wobble the sign.
Oh man, we're wobbling hard. Like, this is a good wobble in my opinion. Like, even from the distance, that's a pretty nice wobble.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on with the horizontal lines that yeah, those are just weird to see. It's fine. It's fine. It looks good. We can ship it. Oh yeah, I could add a yellow light right here. So
the glitch makes it better.
Definitely.
Yeah, true. I remember that we had so in the CRYENGINE community, I remember we had at least 2 transgender women I knew of, and actually one of our developers is also a transgender woman. They left Crytek, unfortunately. Had nothing to do with that, but Evie, she was working on TrackView a lot and other rendering features.
I think talented.
Yeah, super talented. But she's not working for Crytek anymore, unfortunately. But we're still friends. So yeah. But I have seen a lot of transgender people in the industry, actually. Which is good, because it's open-minded. And usually I see that people are making great strides to be more inclusive in game development as well. I mean, as always, it's like the indie games are picking up faster. And I think that's, I mean, indie games have less budget, but they also have less to lose in a way. If you have a AAA production, then you usually have producers. You sometimes have board members or people who are still reluctant to adapt change. But when you have a smaller indie project, there are less people who actually chime in and tell you what's what and what is good and what isn't.
Yep. I just learned also from Dark, from CryDark, that some of the developers in the game Celeste are indeed transgender persons, which was pretty interesting because I really enjoyed Celeste. It was a hard game. The music was amazing. It was a nice surprise to know to
learn
hear
about that. Yeah,
to learn about that. Yeah.
I didn't know the game, honestly. I had to research it.
No, it was Nick. This game is so awesome because of how it actually, it's a really hard platformer, right? But it touches on like subjects of just your own psychological well-being, the loneliness, and so on, and it touches really well on that. It does a really great job on not delivering too much, but also just it touches you emotionally. I really enjoyed that about the game. Celeste is awesome. Celeste, it also got a lot of rewards for their storytelling and their gameplay. But it's
I'm looking at it right
game.
now. Yeah, it looks. Oh my god, yeah. Well, gotta roll up my sleeves, I guess.
It was a tough game to beat. But again, the gameplay design, it's really good. I don't know if you guys have played Celeste. Really recommending it here.
I think one of my favorite games with good transgender representation is Tell Me Why. It's from Don't Nod, right?
Yeah, Tell Me Why. It's from Don't Nod.
Yeah, that was really great because, I mean, as one problem in representation is sometimes that a character that is transgender is sometimes being reduced to that, and it becomes a trope. Like, oh, this character is transgender. That's what makes them special. And that's all there is to know. Tragic backstory, tragic outing, yada, yada. I don't know. I mean, it's fair to represent that the life of a transgender person can be unarguably hard. But on the other hand, sometimes those characters lack depth on a level above and beyond their drama. And that is sometimes sad. So I'm happy to see in Tell Me Why, for example, it's two siblings estranged over a horrible thing that happened in their past that had vaguely to do also with the fact that one of them is transgender. And that surely has had an effect on their lives. But the characters are deep and are explored emotionally. Also their childhood, their background, and that's just hits home a lot. Like it's really heartbreaking. And good, very good. So yeah, Tell Me Why is a great game. Waluigi is asking, can you tell us a bit more of the timeline of your experience and transition? Like how long was it for you? Yeah, sure. So I wouldn't call myself a transgender elder yet, because I don't think I can claim that for me. The time I started to suspect something, like I said, so when I was a kid, I was never really aware of gender in a way that fortunately my parents didn't. So I'm female assigned at birth, but my parents they just bought me the toys I wanted. I wasn't much into dolls. I was into, like, My Little Pony, like 80s toys. I loved the ponies because I loved animals. I loved stuffed animals, but I also loved Matchbox cars, and yada yada. So they bought me racing cars and stuff. And even when I wouldn't pick my own clothes, my mom would dress me. She would refuse to dress me in all pink or whatever skirts. When I was a kid, so that was good, I think. But I also, for a longer time,